Life is like this trail. It isn't always easy, but good boots help. Welcome to Dam Guard.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk about my journey moving from last to last and moving from company to company. First of all, I've been a long-time customer of Frank's. I've bought a lot of boots from them. They are a good company. Almost all the stuff I've purchased from them has been spot on, and attention to detail has been good. One boot though led me by accident to change my whole thinking on lasts and what was more comfortable and why was it more comfortable and so on and so forth. So I had Frank's build a tactical boot for me. At least that's what the intention was, and they did build it, but the result was not good. It wasn't good. I mean, they had never, as far as I know, they'd never put this combination together before, and for me, never again. It just it was a disaster. And I don't say that to throw any shade against Frank's. I mean, their craftsmen are definitely capable, and they can make a great boot. But I don't know who put this boot together, or at least lasted it. And like I said, I don't know how they didn't see it, but it is what it is. So anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's another video that talks about the Frank's tactical boot that I had built, and you can just research the channel and find it there. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Or continue. So I looked in the heel of this boot because it felt like every time I wore it that it was gonna rip the flesh right off my heel. I mean, it was awful. So I tried different things. I mean, one of the things was I tried different kilties. I stacked kilties. I actually built my own kiltie where I put more layers of leather in there and stitched them all together, and I've still got some of that stuff. I mean, it looks like a movie prop or something. But anyway, I was trying all these things to get the heel to set right. It just wasn't setting right. It didn't feel right, and I didn't know what the problem was. So I reached out to Frank's. I sent him a message. I sent him pictures, and the response I got essentially was try thinner socks. And the more I think about it, the more I think that I don't think they looked at the pictures I sent them. I don't know. I think maybe they're just going off and just assuming that what I was talking about, the seam of the boot in the back, and that had nothing to do with it. So the more I think about it, the more I believe that they just didn't look. So, which is another problem in itself. But anyway, but anyhow, so I'm like looking at the back of this boot, and it's got like these creases, and I mean, and they're not creases. I mean, they're not small creases. I mean, they're significant, and it was creating hot spots back there on my heel, and I'm like, damn. I mean, are other boots built like this? So I literally went into my closet and my boot rack, and I got every single boot out. And this took me a while. I started going through and looking on the inside of the boot to look on the inside of the heel counter and see, I mean, surely, I'm going to find at least one boot that has something similar to this. Nope. Not at all. Not a single one of them. All the heel counter on the inside of those boots, every single one of them was smooth. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? I mean, I'm going to have to tear this thing down because I've already reached out to them, and they told me, apparently this is normal. So, and I wasn't going to beat a dead horse. That's just not me. I mean, I'm not going to, call them up and beg them to do this stuff. I mean, I paid them. They sent it to me. Now I just chalk it up as an expensive mistake. So, like I said, I'm not doing that again. I'm going to stick closer to, the normal stuff. I'm not gonna branch out there any longer. But anyway, so one of the boots that I come across was my 409 VLTT, which is a white smoke jumper. Now, I got these boots like 2 years ago, okay? And I wore them like 3 times because in that time, I went from whites and I was like, well, heard about JK and hey, JK is great and, buy a JK. And so I bought that and that was awful. Now, they've since changed their production methods, so I don't know what their new boots are like, but I'm not even interested in trying to find out because once you find a boot maker that can make boots for you and make them consistently and do well, then it's good to stick with them. So anyway, like I said, I had worn them maybe 18 hours. I mean, total. And I'm like, God, I spent a lot of money on these boots. I mean, I can't just let them sit here and in the closet. I need to sell them or wear them or something. So I went ahead and I put them on. And I was like, wow, this is really comfortable. I mean, real comfortable. So, and I wore them for several days in a row, which is not normal for me. Normally I wear, maybe 3 at the most, and then I rotate to another pair just because they start, getting uncomfortable. And I don't want to, get into a point where I'm sweating inside the boot and, I'm wearing it too often and not giving it a chance to air out and so on and so forth. So I was like, okay, well, I really should get another pair of these. So I'm not wearing this pair all the time. So I went on. Well, first of all, I called White's and I asked them, do you have anything in an 11D? And she told me what they had, and Kim did. I talked to Kim, and Kim said, well, I can order it for you, but if you order online, that'll process faster. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I ordered it. I have ADHD, okay? So I do take medicine for it, but sometimes things still don't function like they should. So I obviously wasn't paying attention. Now, this is where I'm going to stop, and I'm going to move into, because the next part, it's going to make sense when I explain this to you. So I had been wearing primarily the 1977 last from Frank's. I had some Patriots that were built on the 55 last, and they are a regular or standard toe boot, and I wore them, and they weren't very comfortable. I could break them in and stuff, and I could get them to where I could wear them maybe a day or 2 in a row, but it wasn't anything that I'm like, it had me thinking, there's got to be something more comfortable out there, that it just, for whatever reason, that particular last or that toe configuration just didn't work. And that's what I chalked it up to. I'm like, this toe configuration is terrible, because when I got a lace to toe from Frank's, this here, and this is their Fire Commander, or no, it's not. It's just the lace to toe. I'm sorry, it's not a Fire Commander. It's built, I guess, on that platform, but it does not have the red X sole. It's just got the regular black sole. So I was like, all right. So I got that. I wore that boot, and I was like, that's a lot more comfortable. So, is it the 55 last, or is it the fact that it's lace to toe? And I'm thinking, okay, it's lace to toe. So I need to order everything lace to toe because it felt much better. It set everything back in the heel pocket, and it just felt better when I wore it. So everything I ordered from that point forward was either a lace to toe or it was a monkey boot. And one of those two. And that's all I ordered. That was it. Now, there is an exception to that, and that is the Frank's insulated boot. That was a standard toe that was built on the 55 last, I think. I'm not sure. It was a 77 or the 55. But anyway, it's the only boot that they offer in that configuration, and it is I think they call it the Icelander. So that's all they offered in that. So I got it. I wore it. It's pretty comfortable. It's not as comfortable as a lace to toe, but I mean, it'll do for me on those cold days. So anyway, moving on from that, everything I ordered after that, like I said, was lace to toe or monkey boot. That was it. I mean, I ordered quite a few boots from Frank. And this particular tactical boot, this monkey Riker hybrid, I just couldn't get it to work. I mean, I tried everything, and so finally I put them away. And every once in a while, because I actually hid them, I actually put them out of my sight, so I wouldn't look at it and think about the money that I'd spent and how it didn't work out, because and I'm taking some responsibility in this because I'm the one that asked them to build it. So could have been executed better, yeah. I really think it could have, but again, this is a first one that was built, so I guess I should expect that there's going to be some growing pains, so to speak. I just wish it wasn't at my expense. But anyway, so I literally hid the boots, but every once in a while I'd have to go into this room and I would see those boots sitting there and I'd be, damn it, man, I just wish those boots would have worked out. So I started looking at, I went into my closet, because the problem was in the heel and the way that it was constructed and the way that it was lasted is what, we've pretty much determined. And again, you can watch the video on that and see, what I actually found. But I wanted to see if any other boots that I had, 30 plus pairs of boots that I have, if any other ones had the same issue. And that's just Pacific Northwest boots. I'm going to have other boots other than that. So I've got a pretty large collection of boots. But anyway, so I wanted to check all those Pacific Northwest boots and see if they had anything that was even close to being similar to what I was seeing on the inside of this tactical boot. And no, not a single one of them. They were all smooth. They were flawless. Didn't have a problem. So I was like, damn, Well, anyway. When I was going through these boots, I come across this White's boot, the 409 V LTT, and that's how I come across this. I put it on, I wore it, so on and so forth. So now we're back to me ordering the other boot, because I wanted to order another one to wear in conjunction with that, and I wanted a 400 V LTT. What do you suppose I ordered? I ordered the 400V. Now, I did an unboxing video on this channel, and when I take the boot out, I'm really trying to hide the fact that I was like, oh no. I ordered a regular or standard toe boot. This is not going to work out. Okay, that was July 3rd. It is now July 15th, and I haven't taken those boots off yet. So, it wasn't the toe. It was the last. It was the last. I mean, I'm sure of it. I mean, and this is a hand-sewn or Norwegian rolled welt, however you want to phrase it. Standard toe, regular toe, smoke jumper. My wife was like, how long have you been wearing them boots? I said, I've been wearing them since I got them. She goes, are you kidding me? That's not like you. It's not normal for you. You're always changing your boots, and it always drives me insane. I said, well, I found a boot that's really comfortable. But why is it comfortable? Why is it more comfortable, for me anyway, than Frank's 1977 last? Because up until this point, that was pretty much what I wanted to order. I knew the 4811 was comfortable, but I didn't experience it to this degree. So I have to do some testing with some of my team, and I have to show them how to find something on me. Usually put as we get new people in, I'll put a paper clip on me somewhere and I'll x-ray myself. And so I took the image from me wearing a 1977 last and me wearing a 4811 last, x-rayed, so we could see what the difference was. There is a difference in those two lasts. And after I saw it, I better understood why the 4811 was more comfortable. Now, I'll show you this here, and it is a graphic that shows you the difference. And you can see that the transition in the 1977 last from the heel to the floor, so to speak, is much more abrupt. It gets there over a shorter distance, so it goes down relatively soon. 4811 last, it's a high heel or a high arch, and it goes over a longer distance, so it's more of a gradual transition. And for me, that made all the difference in the world. So, does this mean that I would never buy anything from Frank's? No, doesn't mean that. But it means that I'm now gonna order everything in a 4811 last. Now, I haven't tried White's 55 last. I can't imagine it would be any different. But the one thing that is different, also outside of the last, is the lacing pattern. Now, Wesco and White's are pretty close to one another, and Frank's is a little bit different as far as the lacing is concerned. But I'll show you what I mean here. Let me grab. Let's see, that is the right boot, so I guess I'll grab the left boot here. So if you look at, why it's not, let me see here. Well, guess you'll have to take my word for it here. But, well, you can see it there. The lacing, spacing on the Whites here is much closer together. Do you see that? You see where the Franks, the eyelets are spaced further apart? And on the Whites, they're closer together. And that's how Wesco is, too. They're closer together. So I can't help but think that that's having some contributing factor to it. Maybe not. Maybe it's all in the last. But either way, yeah, that's the last I'm wearing now. So, but I just thought I'd share that with you. You know, just out of pure accident, I put on those smoke jumpers that I hadn't worn in years, and here I am. So, again, does this mean that I, don't like Frank's? No, it's not. Yeah, nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, I think they make a good boot. Just because I had one bad experience doesn't mean that I'm going to stop, doing business with them. But it did give me the opportunity to wear a different last, which now had me change my thinking, and so now, I'll be wearing Whites. And, Frank's, if they have something that comes along that piques my interest, then I'll get it from them, But as far as recommendations are concerned, and, Whites, Frank's, Wesco, those are all good brands. Again, I don't have any experience with Nicks. I just don't see the need to get in that. I got enough boots as it is, so... and JK, well, y'all know, and I'm not going after, I'm not getting on them anymore. If you don't know what their previous history was, you might want to look at what they're doing now, and hopefully things have changed. I don't know that they have, but maybe things will improve or have improved with them. Feel free to comment on here, if things have gotten better with them. But outside of that, that's where I'm at now, and I figured I'd share that information with you so you knew what the difference was between the two lasts. And this, I think, will give you a good indicator. If you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Be glad to answer them. Other than that, have a great day, and thanks for watching.